Hey there, handy friends. Haley's Handy Husband here. Now, a while back, I talked to you about some cast iron basic cleaning and maintenance seasoning, just for regular use. Just some real basic, real quick tips about how to wash it and how to season it. Today, I want to get a little more intricate into that because I actually using the same cast iron griddle that I showed you last time. I had some flash rust on the bottom of it. Now, we use it on a electric coil top stove. I don't necessarily recommend that, but the problem that we have is I left the griddle on the stove too long because the vent from the oven is actually underneath one of the coils, and so even though the coils weren't on, it was still administering heat to the grill, to the bottom of the griddle, excuse me. So I want to show you that. I want to show you how to clean that up. I want to show you how to properly season both sides. I also want to show you how to refurbish an old cast iron skillet that's been used for decades, for who knows what. It's actually got some rust inside of it that I want to clean up. We're going to be stripping these down back to the bare cast iron. We're going to be pulling all that grease and seasoning that has been building up over the years on both the flat cast iron skillet griddle that I showed you last time, and a new skillet frying pan that we actually dug up out of the basement. So without further ado, I'm going to lay out the materials for you, tell you what you need, and let's get into it. So we're outside in my workshop. I would love to show you around sometime, but it's way messier than Haley's little workshop. So I'm just going to stick to the topic on hand. We have our materials laid out. Here we have our cast iron griddle from before. Here's the skillet that we're going to be refurbishing. Now you can see the rust in there, and honestly it's probably from some mouse pee. There was mouse poop all inside of there, and we're going to clean it up real good, try to get it back to new. I have a large tote that I'm going to use to soak it in. We have a utility sink in our basement, but I'm not going to use that. I wanted a well ventilated area, so we came out into my workshop out in the garage. I got some gloves right here that I'm going to use to protect my hands. I have some grade 00 steel wool. I do not recommend using steel wool to clean these up. Now this is just, I have it as a backup just in case my little Scotch-Brite green Scotch-Brite doesn't do the trick. Now I've used the green Scotch-Brite for years. I never had a problem with it. So this is just a backup for that stubborn rust. Now the vinegar is just going to be your basic white vinegar that we got right here. Now you're going to want to mix that half and half. It's just basic white vinegar. I'm going to mix that half and half in here with water. So 1 part vinegar to 1 part water. It's real simple. The acidity of the vinegar is going to clean the pan up real good. Let's get a closer look and see what we're dealing with. Now you can see how dark it is, that it's been seasoned several times and not really cleaned up in between. We're going to try to get that back down to where it needs to be. It also has some instructions here on the back for seasoning. Now they're not exactly the same as the instructions I gave you in our prior video. You see the temperature difference? This says 300 and I recommended between 400 and 500. Now, it's just, I suppose, the personal preference of how much you want to cook that oil in there versus how much is going to be excess, how much you want it to smoke. But it's pretty much the same instructions other than the temperature. It says for about an hour in the oven, just like I explained before. But yeah, this is Wagner's 1981 original cast iron cookware. We also got the Lodge skillet down here. let me show you that damage that I caused. Now, this is from neglect. Clearly, it was only happening on one side. This is what you call flash rust. Now, this happens. This flash rust is what happens in a very short amount of time, as opposed to this should clean up real easily, as opposed to regular rust that accumulates over time and really eats at the metal deep down. This is just some flash rust because I left this on the stove top where the vent was allowing the heat to reheat the griddle while I ignored it and cooked stuff in the oven. Now, that was my own fault. So, what we're going to do is we're going to soak both of these in this tub for anywhere from 1 hour to 8 hours. You got to be careful. You got to check it periodically because the acid in the vinegar will eat the metal eventually. But white distilled vinegar, it's usually half water anyway, or if not more. It's only 5% acidity, so you should be fine. I'm going to check on it every 15 minutes and give it a good scrub. And once I get it filled up and had them sitting in here for about 15 minutes, I'll get back with you. So here we are. It's been about 15 to 20 minutes, and I'm gonna give it a first good scrub. I apologize for the sound. My wife has the microphone. That is okay. So, I got the Scotch-Brite. It's been soaking for about 15-20 minutes. Oh man, that is strong. I can smell it. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a little scrub. Coming off already, some of it. The rust, at least. Not the built-up seasoning. It hasn't been long though. I'm going to let them soak for quite a bit. Just give them a quick scrub in between. You see? You can see how gross that is. All right. There's this one. I can smell it too. Yeah. This was my mistake. I should have seasoned both sides more thoroughly. And like I said, I don't recommend using this on a electric coil top stove. But that's what we have, so we're going to use it. It still distributes the heat. I mean, you can still cook on it. Yeah, that rust is coming right off. But obviously, I didn't. I neglected it, I'll admit. I made a mistake. Weird, huh? Yep. So, a lot of that rust is coming off, and we're already, with this, because I didn't season this bottom side enough, we're already down to the bare cast iron. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna soak this one too long. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining, and it gets pretty loud in here with the rain sometimes. I hope Haley's okay. She's out there foraging right now. I'm sure she is. I told her I'd make this video for her. I had to clean this up anyway. Figured you guys wouldn't mind, eh? I use this all the time. I use it for all types of stuff. Eggs, French toast, pancakes, tuna melts. Tuna melts, yeah, those are good. Alright. So, let's show you real quick. Get up in there. See, that rust is coming right off. But see, already you're getting down to the bare cast iron. So I'm gonna scrub this down real good. I'm sure you guys don't want to see me scrubbing all day, so I'm going to press pause real quick, scrub this down, and put it in there for another 20 minutes. We'll see you back. So we're back another 15-20 minutes later. I'm going to go ahead and start with the flat one because I know how close it is to being done. Oh yeah. That's cleaning right up. Real easy. You can get a good look at it. You can see it's getting down to that bare cast iron. Oh yeah. So I'm going to be seasoning this one here in no time, but I'll still be soaking the other one. Okay. Now, my Scotch Brite is pretty totaled, so I got another one. Like I said, I don't want to use that steel wool. I really don't. That's a last resort. If you have to use it, then go with the lowest grade you can. That steel wool that I have, I actually use that to strip wood, so it's pretty soft. Yeah, this one's cleaning up real good. So let's take a look at this one. Whoop. Give it a couple scrubs. Alright. This one's cleaning up pretty easily too. You can see the bottom part where it wasn't seasoned. You're getting bare cast iron already again, but it's going to take a minute to get through all this old seasoning. So I don't want to bore you with the scrubbing. So we'll see you in again another 15-20 minutes or so. So I'm finished with the flat skillet, and I wanted to show you up close. Now that's just with the green scrubby and some vinegar. Now I know a lot of people use chemicals to strip their cast iron, like lye or easy off, oven cleaner, stuff like that. We prefer the natural methods in our household, which is why we are recommending white vinegar. Now, I can't guarantee that we're going to get the same outcome with that old cast iron skillet, but we're probably going to let it soak for quite a while. This one, on the other hand, I'm going to get this inside and start seasoning it right away. I'm going to wipe it down, get all that water and vinegar off it, but I'm almost immediately going to get it into the oven to dry and oil it using the same method I showed you in the video prior to this, referring to cast iron. We're just going to do that several times to put new layers of seasoning on it. It's real simple. But I got to get this in the house and get this seasoned and get it in the oven before it starts rusting. That's one thing you need to know. You need to get this covered in oil almost immediately because it's bare. So it's going to want to rust really fast. It'll start flash rusting as soon as it's dry. So you got to be on top of it, be ready to go. So I'm going to get this in the house. I'm not going to bore you with the details of seasoning it because you already know from the last video. So I will see you again in another, let's say about an hour to check on the other one. So I got this all wiped down, dried, and I reapplied some olive oil for the re-seasoning. I recommend using ground salt and an old rag and wipe and press that olive oil all up in those pores real good. And I'm going to get this into the oven, and I'm going to have to redo it several times to get several layers of seasoning onto this, but it's ready to go in the oven. You see how bare it is? You're going to have to layer that up again so that it's good to cook on. And I'll show you the other skillet here in a minute. Alright, now so I just went ahead and put another layer of seasoning on there. You can see the excess salt. That's alright. Now you gotta be careful. I have this on 425. Now, it's been about 45 minutes to an hour since I put the last layer on. You gotta be careful when you take it out of there because it is hot. Have a good place to do it at. Like I said, I have it on 425. Just use caution. Use an old rag when you season it. Use olive oil or butter, or a lot of people like to use flaxseed oil. I just laid it down on this towel real quick and wiped it down real good with this rag, some olive oil, and some salt. And I'm going to have to do that periodically for a couple hours to get a few good layers of seasoning. But as you can see, it's already looking great. So let's go check on that other skillet. So here we are, checking on the other skillet again. I've been scrubbing for a while now. I've been letting it soak. Like I said before, I don't think the acidity of the vinegar is going to damage this too much at all. No, it's working. Just not as fast as I would like. Now you gotta be patient. It's the natural way. I'm not using chemicals. I'm not using lye. I'm not using easy off. None of that stuff. I plan on eating out of this. You know what I mean? I don't want to be eating that crap. So I've been looking into it, and I've also read it's pretty common to soak these overnight, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get right back to it in the morning, early in the AM. So I'll probably soak overnight, so 12 to 16 hours total, maybe, you know. And we'll get back with you. How about we go check on that other griddle real quick. Here we are. We've been baking this seasoning in for a couple hours now, and each hour taking it out periodically and giving it a good wipe down with the oil rag. So now we're going to wipe all this excess oil off. Take a look at it. Looking good, if I do say so myself. No rust. Nice even coat. I'm going to take this rag and I'm going to wipe this excess oil off, excess seasoning. And I'm actually going to use it tonight. Haley wants pancakes. So I'm going to make pancakes on this. And then I'm going to make sure not to leave it. I'm going to maintain this. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. I'm going to take good care of it, because it takes good care of us. Let's check that other side. See if I can do this one-handed. No, I could not do it one-handed. Haha. Gotta be careful. It's still very, very hot. But yeah, this side's looking real good too. It's not too much oil I can really wipe off of it. Not too much coming off of there. Looks real good. Oh yeah. Now I'm going to set this on the stove to cool off. Not on the side where the oven vent is. And I'm going to start cooking some pancakes pretty soon. So here we are. It's the next morning. It's been about 18 hours. I've been letting this soak. I wasn't too worried about the vinegar damaging the cast iron. Like I said, it's only 5% acidity, and that's before we added the water. So, as you can see, it didn't really damage it. You can tell there was some pitting underneath the prior seasoning. Looks like some damage, some more negligence from whoever owned this before. You know who you are. That's okay, that happens sometimes. But this particular cast iron skillet was produced in the 90s, and I'm guessing that it had pre-seasoning on it when you bought it, so it was ready to use, which is why it looks so dark still. I don't want to use chemicals, and I don't want to use steel wool. I should have said this at the beginning of the video. This is a personal preference to our maintenance of our cast iron. There's many different methods out there, and a lot are really effective, and some more than others. It's just this is what we prefer with our natural lifestyle. So this is what works for us, and I just wanted to share that information with you. It's not necessarily saying our way is better or our way is the right way. It's just our way, and we want to share it with you. I'm not, by any means, I'm not saying that my way is better than anybody else's. It's just our own personal preference. So we used the white vinegar method with this. Again, it's been about 18 hours, and you can see how much cleaner it is. I just used a green Scotch-Brite, and I'm going to go ahead and get this in the house, dry it off, and oil it just like I did the last skillet. And we'll get back with you. And we're back to show you the final results. And I'm pretty happy, I gotta say. Things turned out pretty well. It only took 6 or 7 layers, but I'm pretty happy with the results. Now, as I said earlier, I made pancakes with this right after I did this, and you can see that the bottom is still good. Now, I did clean it and re-oil it after I made the pancakes, but it's looking 100 times better. Now, I won't make the same mistake twice. I'm going to take good care of these. So there's that one. Let's see how this one turned out. Oh yeah. You can tell that pitting that I was talking about before. You can see it. But you can also tell by the gloss that it's got nice even layers built up on there. There's no rust, no more mouse pee. So yeah, I'll be happy to cook out of that. And after that 24-hour soak, well, it wasn't 24 hours, but overnight soak in that vinegar, you can be sure that this is clean. You ain't got to worry about what else was left on it, but you can see the bottom. I got a nice good even layer on the bottom here. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Now, I hope your guys' turns out as well as this does. Feel free to leave comments down below. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. I'll keep trying to post cool stuff like this in the future. And make sure you subscribe. Haley's got a whole bunch of other videos that she wants to show you. All types of good stuff that foraging, identifying, seed saving, all types of good stuff. Yeah, just stick around and subscribe. Give us that thumbs up, and we'll have plenty more for you. Stay handy, friends.